I just took my battery for my little battery powered drill for my rechargeable drill up to the house to recharge it, and then I'll put it away. These ammunition cases are great when you're living this way if you have things that you don't want the dampness to get into in the wintertime, because see, they have a seal inside the lid, a rubber seal, and it seals it airtight so that you don't get corrosion. If anything you put in here won't rot or corrode or anything. They're quite a bit more expensive nowadays, ammo cases, than they used to be, but they're a really good thing. If you're living like I am and you have the opportunity to go to an army surplus store and you have a few dollars, you should really buy some of these. You just push that close like that. That seals it up there. Yeah. Yeah, see? Pretty neat. Pretty neat anyway. And they're solid too. They're a really good box. Anyway, I drilled a few drain holes, drilled 3 drain holes into the plastic tub of this wheelbarrow so that when it rains, the rain won't pile up in there. It won't just fill up with water. I've repaired my axle. I don't turn on the light here so you can see what I've done. See that? The axle shaft is right there that holds the wheel in place. I put these bolts through so the axle now can't back up, because what was happening is the axle was backing up and then it was coming out on the other end and the wheel was going cockeyed. So now that can't happen anyway. And as you can see, she rolls along just fine. I'm holding it up by one hand here, so let me just grab it here and show you. You can see it rolls along just good. It was in the grass there, but you can see it goes along really good. Yeah. Yep, so there you go. So it didn't affect the performance of it at all. It'll just keep that accident from happening over and over again, so that I don't have my wheel going cockeyed. I also pumped up the tire because the tire was starting to get soft. So when I had it upside down anyway, I pumped up the tire. Just making little improvements. Really, this is my truck for now. I really have 2 trucks. I have this one and I have my wagon. But I don't have any truck that I'm not the engine of. So I got 2 one-man power trucks anyway. But I'm still wanting to get one of those Japanese mini trucks. I think that'd be about the cheapest route. Although in Ontario, I'm finding out it's very hard to get, and in Ontario, Canada, it's very hard to get insurance for a right-hand drive vehicle. And apparently there's only 2 companies that offer it, and one company is Haggerty, and apparently they only offer it if you're insuring it as I guess a specialty vehicle or a classic or whatever. And so it's restricted insurance. You're not to use it for working or anything like that. And there's Haggerty, and there's another company that will also insure it. And they'll insure it as a daily driver, but they generally want a lot of money. So that kind of sucks. But insurance in Ontario is crazy. There's a lot of issues with insurance in Ontario. They pretty much dictate to us now what we can drive and what we have to pay to drive it and everything. We don't have a lot of say anymore in Ontario about insurance. The insurance tells us what we can and can't do. Anyway, I had an old friend that had a 1986 Mercury Grand Marquis. It was in beautiful shape. He was a cousin of mine, and he was a friend of mine since I was a kid. He took me under his wing when I was a little boy, and I had been used as a guinea pig for experiments, and my health was bad and everything. And he helped me quite a bit. He used to go out to his wood lot and work with him out there on the weekends when I was 9, 10, 11 years old and stuff, you know. And anyway, he turned out to be a real good friend to me. He was a relation of mine, and he was a real good friend to me anyway, too. He was older than I was. He was in his 40s. He was the custodian at our school, and he was a relation of mine from my grandmother's side of the family. He was like a second or third cousin of mine. I think a second cousin. Anyway, he had an 1986 Mercury Grand Marquis. It was in beautiful shape. You know how old people look after stuff. People that were born back in the 20s and 30s and stuff. And that was when he was born. Anyway, he took the plates off it because when he got into his early 80s, his eyes went bad and they took his license. So he basically took it off the road, and it sat for a few months, and then his daughter wanted to use it. And so we called up the insurance. He said, I want to put the insurance back on my car. And they told him, they said, you can't do that. The car is too old to be insured. And they wouldn't sell him insurance. And he ended up having to scrap the car, and the car was in beautiful